Hey, how's it going, everybody? Because I've been dealing with chronic pain, what I'm going to do here is the two Star Wars characters. I'm just going to kind of show them off to you guys on what you get for the price. Got both of these guys at Kmart for, I believe, $17.98. So with tax, just under $20. And then what I want to really show off to you is the cool thing that I got from my buddy John. That's a retro toy going back to the 80s. Something I wanted back then, but man, they were just too damned expensive for what it is. So, to start out with the one that's closest to me here. Both of these are Jakks Pacific 18-inch toys. On a Darth Maul here. Right off the bat. Get up close here. Real good head sculpt for the price. Good job on the tattoos. What they did is skirt here looks good. It's two-tone material. Then on his double-bladed saber, when you get it in the package, it's like this. So this blade is detachable, so you can have it single blade, ignited or unignited, and then this just fits on via a peg, which if you're just going to display it, it's alright. If you're going to have somebody playing with it, a kid, it does fit pretty loose. Otherwise, pretty damn cool. And Kmart's the only place I've seen this guy. Now the other one that's behind me on the chair there, I did see them at my local Walmart. They're back to, I believe, $19.98 for the price, so a little bit more. But there's something I will point out that was either bent, broken, or ready to break. Is obviously little kids were grabbing it and screwing around with it. It's one of those things, if you're going to put this guy up on shelf, make sure he's secured really well so he won't fall off of it, because if he lands on his head, that's definitely going to snap this off. Anyways, got one of Boba Fett. This is the piece I'm talking about. As you can see, it's got a bit of wobble there. There's no wire or anything inside that plastic to keep this stiff, which it'd probably still snap off. But I say, man, the ones at Walmart, they were either bent downwards or pushed into his head, or this piece was busted off, or the whole thing was busted off. I think they only had one of them that was to the far back of the row that was in decent shape. Otherwise, this guy, speaking of far back in the row, I almost didn't spot him, man. I didn't spot him until I grabbed Darth Maul because he was way to the back on a bottom shelf. So, got lucky. Was another really cool character by Jakks. Roughed him up a little bit. More so on his helmet. You can see it's all scuffed up. Right there. Looks like he got hit with a bullet. Possible shotgun blast to the dick. Maybe he was feeling suicidal. Otherwise, really cool fucking character. Okay, now on for the retro thing, man. What's the date on this damn thing? 1986 by Worlds of Wonder. And he got this in a while ago, but never had it out for display, and he didn't know if he was going to keep it or sell it. So anyways, I got this cheap enough because he also never got a chance to test it, and one of them, the batteries leaked, so I had to do some cleaning on the terminals. But let's say I got them usable, but on outright working, kind of half-assed, and that has to do with speakers. See, anyways, show you the coolest part first, then I'll show you the contraption that you wear that looks like a fucking sex slave harness. Anyways, they're a little scuffed up. They saw a lot of love. This is the better of the two, and then the other one I've got is missing this piece, which was the part that the batteries just corroded the shit out of his like a lot of 80s toys, this thing's a battery hog. It takes 6 AA batteries. But when they leaked, that piece in there, which completes the circuit, was just totally caked in battery acid. So I just unscrewed it there. Just a couple little Phillips screws. Well, one now because of gravity. But yeah, I just took it out of there and just attacked the living shit out of it with steel wool. And on the speaker, you can look inside here. In fact, yeah, you can kind of see it in there through that grating. It's about the same size speaker that you'd have in like a Game Boy Advance. Hence, that's what bit the dust on that little Game Boy Advance I got not too long ago. I showed the pickup vid. But, probably the same thing, man. They just short out real easy. Otherwise, there is a switch here if you find a totally working set where you can shut off the sound of that. Which right off the bat doesn't make sense to me why they'd have a switch on this and not on the thing that you're shooting at. Which constantly is making noise. So if you're trying to play hide and seek with this, everybody's going to know where you are unless they're fucking deaf. Otherwise, fucking cool, man. Out of all the laser tag type stuff, this is the one everybody wanted back in the day. Just a really nice looking gun. One thing that's cool, and I didn't know it had this until I was looking at it. It's like, what the hell? Because it's like a little peep sight where you look down there and then there's a hole here. Anyways, when you just barely pull the trigger, it's got a fucking red dot sight. You look down this and you see a little red dot. So it's like you're pointing a laser. Otherwise, the only other thing it does, other than, I say it used to make sound, you get a muzzle flash here, which I can show you guys. Not real bright. It might have been brighter back in the day. I don't know what kind of light bulb's in there. Don't know if it's like a Christmas tree type light bulb that they used in a lot of the toys, or if it's a LED or what. And on the sound, when you pull the trigger, just make this whoosh type noise. And it also wasn't very loud. That switch right there to turn it on and off. And then there's a switch here to change it from wide range to narrow range depending on the distance you are from your target. So anyways, this is what you're shooting at. And once you figure out how to put on this fucking sex slave harness, you'd have this on your chest. And this is what makes just a lot of fucking noise. Right when you turn it on, it's just loud as all fuck. Turn off my desk light here so you can see a little bit better. One thing cool about this, for any buddy that liked Knight Rider back in the day, is I watched it a lot when I was a kid. You'll understand what I'm talking about once I turn it on, man. Definite reminder of Kit. See what I mean? And you got to do that is then turn it off and on every time you've gotten shot so many times to where it resets. It doesn't just automatically reset. It keeps signaling like you're shooting at it. And that back and forth strobe there gets faster and faster with each hit. And also that beeping noise gets faster and faster. Should give you a test here. Oh, before I totally do it here, one thing I did do was take this apart. The little infrared things in there were pretty tweaked to where it wasn't quite hitting it good. And you don't want them straight out if you open this. They're like a couple of flat plastic things. You want them to where they're touching like this, just tip to tip, sticking out of the hole in there. And then that seems to be as good a signal as you're going to get. Is that not the best signal on this anymore? I got to be literally aiming straight at it, which I found that little laser there, which also before I do it, try and get this in a place where you guys can see it good. There. You kind of see that little red dot in there. It's gone now. Now it's on. I say you just barely pull the trigger to make that come on so you can aim, and then a full pull to fire. And then until you turn it on and off again, it's just going to keep doing this. But it will acknowledge that you're still shooting at it. That's just to tell that, okay, that person lost. So, reset. Was pretty damn cool. And this is something to where, yeah, you can get on eBay and find these. It's trying to find one that's complete, let alone one that has this piece. There was one review that I saw of these where the guy was saying, yeah, that's something that can come off in the middle of playing, which maybe some guns that fit a little bit looser than others. Is this one, actually both of the guns here, and here's the other gun. It fits on really freaking tight. I got it grab with all my might and then pull back on it as it just kind of slides off. So no problem with that coming off there. Now on the speakers, being that I'm a technical dude and I like to try and repair stuff, nah. This is as good as I'm going to get it. On taking these apart, it's crazy. It's like you got the two halves, but then you got this piece of plastic here that kind of clamps in place and holds the top together, which is all one piece. And then that I could just barely get loose. I could not disconnect it. There's something up front here that's holding it in place. But this clamp down here, which holds the bottom half together, I can't get that to come off for nothing. And I kept feeling like I was going to break the thing, so I kind of just gave up. I could care less about these making sound as long as they work, which, I say, just had to clean the living crap out of it. The only other thing I can think of is something in there is not making contact for the speaker, like maybe the inside has some corrosion or something, but say it's working, so good enough. So anyways, man, he had 15 bucks on them. I had a couple games. In fact, I showed him in my last video those ones I picked up at Goodwill. There was a couple that I really wasn't planning on keeping, so I said, hey man, take $5 off for a couple of games, and then I just give you 10. He was cool with that, so basically I just paid $12, man. 10 bucks to him, $2 to Goodwill, so not bad. If you get on eBay, the price kind of jumps from like 10 bucks and up on the guns, depending on how good they are. Now on these, and now that I'm having a bad days and chronic pain and didn't want to get out, I've been researching on this, and they made other guns before they went out of business, which I'll tell you why they went out of business, or basically went bankrupt. But they made these in white, and I'm thinking those are going to be pretty damn rare to find, because it was like, I don't even think they lasted a year. That was like their final attempt to solve this major problem that happened with one of these, and then that was it. But they also had one that was like a rifle that's maybe about this much longer, that's white. And found a few of them on eBay. One or so looked like it was in pretty good shape. The others looked like they were dug out of a dumpster. So that could be really scarce too. It could have been that they had the rifle and then the white version of this made around the same time, so just weren't out long enough to really get into circulation. So anyways, for you guys to read the whole thing on it, I recommend looking this up on Wikipedia. But the short end of it, and this shit still happens today with toy guns. And I heard about it in somebody else's video, and I don't think they said how old the person was. I thought I was figuring little kid, or at least like maybe 12, 13-year-old kid. This was a 19-year-old that was playing laser tag with his buddies at night outside, I guess in the front yard facing their front street. And some neighbors or whatever saw them that didn't know this group of kids and figured, oh shit, there's a gang war going on. Because it could be they lived on a noisy street. This was happened in California. Can't quite remember where, but city area where you'd have all the traffic. So all they saw was a bunch of teenagers at night holding something that looked like handguns, and then they were seeing that red flash, thinking, oh shit, muzzle flares. So they called the cops on them. Cops pulled up. I guess one of the kids was aimed towards the cop cars, like, oh shit, the cops are coming, and he was probably like this. Cop shot him, killed him dead. Which, with all the shit we've got going on now, it's like they gotta hassle the damn guys into quitting, or just they fire them or whatever, because a lot of it's been asshole type stuff lately. This guy just quit the next day, man. Which, hey, if I was a cop and that happened to me, shot a kid with a toy, man, that would be it. Automatic manic depressive, man, and yeah, I'd definitely quit my job. I mean, how could you possibly work after doing something like that? You'd have that in your head all the damn time. So that's pretty much what shut them down and put them into bankruptcy. Like after that, everybody was kind of paranoid of the whole thing, laser tag. That's when they probably started doing regulations on this, on doing the orange tip or whatever, because at night, I mean, it's dark enough. It could look like a gun if you're not too close. Up close, yeah, obviously it's a toy, but if you're driving up in your car and you can't see it real well, and all you see is this constantly flashing like they're having a gunfight, yeah, you'd freak. So, kind of legitimate and not. They should have really checked it out good, but obviously one of the guys just freaked, saw the gun pointing at him, and just pulled the trigger. On that, 86, yeah, I think they were out of business by 88, my graduation year, so. If any of you guys see these, or any of this stuff, I mean, just this, at a thrift store, yard sale, whatever, and it looks like it's still functional, grab it, because this is something that's just going to go up in price. And they're starting to get kind of on the scarce side from what I've done on looking them up, trying to find ones for sale. Which, if you're going to outright order one from eBay or whatever, you're better off spending a bit more money and trying to get one that's boxed, that was hardly played with, like one that maybe somebody got it for Christmas and then heard about that on the news and it's like, no fucking way am I letting my kids have this, and it went up in the attic in storage or whatever. Which, that's probably why there are some box systems floating around that are unused, or sometimes it's just a store's leftover merchandise that somebody just held on to. So, pretty damn cool. Nowadays, man, there's all kinds of stuff thanks to China, man, all different types of variations of laser tag, but to me, that's the coolest. There was one before it, and I can't remember the name of it. All I remember is that one. So maybe it was another short-lived. And this one, they actually had places you can go to play laser tag or whatever. But the thing on this, all wireless, obviously. The other one, not only did you look like a sex slave, you looked like a sex slave from Star Trek, because you had fucking wires going to everything. You had the helmet, wire coming off of that to the harness that you'd wear, wire going to the sensor, going to the gun, to this, to that, battery packs, whatever, man. It's really crazy looking get up, and I'm not going to say who, just if you want to watch some other vids, put it in, and there's somebody that's showing this one and the previous, and the guy's wearing the get up, and it just looks fucking ridiculous. So, say bye to you guys. I don't know when I'm going to have another pickup video. Kind of low on cash as I haven't been able to get out much, man. This chronic pain is like, it makes me feel like I'm getting the flu. real fucking fun, man. So all I've been trying to do is just relax and stay on top of the pain as much as possible. So later, everybody.